Welcome to Badly Written Boy, a reciting of my teenage years and my 20s, now as a 40-something. How do I remember all these things? I wrote it all down in a diary. Badly. Enduring with me on this retrospective, cringeworthy experience is my wife, who has never read my diaries.
Are you prepared? Have you eaten and peed and cleaned your glasses and put your glasses on and sat down and cleared your throat?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay.
Strange way to start the podcast.
23 minutes after we planned to start, we are now ready.
Yeah. Good things come to those who wait.
All right, where are we?
We're into February of 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, I reckon we're just going to hear lots of moaning.
And championship manager, God.
No more champ.
Planning to do work and not doing any work and then complaining that the work
I can't
isn't
believe
done.
how little work I seem to do.
It's uni, though. I think everyone does the same.
Yeah, but I don't know.
What did you end up, what was your degree in the end? What did you get?
Well, we'll see, because this is it. This is the final year.
Yeah, but I feel like I got a 2-2 and I don't feel like I worked, my degree was hard.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I worked anywhere near as hard as I could.
We got a special guest, Buddy the dog.
Because he won't leave us alone.
Yep.
Do you want to come on the podcast? You can be our first special guest. That's a yes. Can we get a woof?
Just a struggle.
Speak. Speak. Speak.
It's just kind of...
Speak. Okay, that's a sneeze. I'll take that as a speak. Well done, Dylan. Okay.
Let's launch into February. Sunday the 1st. Slow morning.
Oh, great start to February.
Have to do some work. Yeah, no shit.
You've always got to do some work.
Playing champ instead. There's a surprise. Also watching Super Bowl. For some obscure reason, it's rubbish. Makes no sense. America is so silly. They had this halftime program which consisted of plastic pop stars wiggling about for a bit. Janet Jackson got a booby out for Justin Timberlake.
Oh, classic moment.
Yeah. Pop culture history. It was a setup, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was totally a setup.
Yeah. But
Because she had, do you not remember when she did it? And she didn't even try and cover it.
No,
she just looked at it and was like,
and then looked surprised.
And you can see, when you watch him do it, you can see him wrap his fingers around the end of the Velcro patch or whatever it is and then pull it off.
Right.
And he also didn't go, oh my God, I'm sorry, and walk in front of her to block her from the cameras.
Yeah.
It was just a rock your body, and then the boob was out.
And then it went black.
Did it? I don't remember that.
I think it did, didn't it?
I don't think it did. Because I can remember.
So she was just standing there with a boob out.
Because I can remember her stood there with the boob out, and she had a giant star nipple clamp. It wasn't even a nipple piercing. I don't think. I think it was a big nipple clamp that was round it that looked like a sun.
Well, it got some headlines.
Wacka wacka rock your butt. In fact, let's watch it.
Well, you know who came out better after that, and it wasn't Janet Jackson.
Well, Janet Jackson married a billionaire and gave him a son at 44. And they had an agreement, so it was a business deal completely because he wanted an heir. If she stayed married to him for 5 years and gave him an heir, she'd get 100 million.
Okay, so she's minted.
She was already minted.
Yeah, but I think, isn't she the kind of pop star that would have just gone on and on and on like Madonna has?
Yeah, maybe.
So it's maybe not a bad thing that she's fallen into the shadows a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Right, Super Bowl nipplegate, as it is called. See what I mean?
Yeah, he knows where he was going.
He 100% grabs it. He reaches round to get it, and you can see his fingers curl around it. And then there's no shock. There's no shock. It's just, my boob.
Yeah. She's faking out what the?
Exactly. There's no trying to cover. He knows that he's got it in his hand and he doesn't try and put it back.
Yeah.
And it's part of the thing. I'm going to have you naked by the end of this song.
Okay. Right. Well, it fits in that sense.
And then I think it just didn't come off as well as they hoped. And they were like, oh my God, it was an accident. What kind of famous person's clothes are that badly put together that an entire piece can perfectly, the entire boob piece perfectly just comes off? Maybe he could tear it a little bit you know, if he grabbed it really aggressively. But it's stupid. Like, no one believes that.
Do you reckon they meant for it to, like, the lights to literally go out as the clothing was being ripped off?
Well, yeah, because it happened after, because they were still singing, weren't they? Gonna have you naked by the end of this. And then he grabbed it. Song.
Yeah.
And then they, like, finished. And then it was obviously time for the lights to go down at the end of the show. Completely planned. And they should have just gone with it rather than be like, oh my God, it was such an accident. Oh, I so didn't mean to. It was completely obvious. And if it was an accident, then she needs to sack a tailor, because if you grabbed this shirt and the entire arm just came off with like a little pull, it's not very well put together, is it? Like, how does a whole, to sew leather together, you need like heavy duty equipment. How does a whole leather piece come off intact with a little tiny, I don't even know why I'm trying to justify it. Like,
can you just imagine like the initial discussion, like the executives around the board?
Exactly.
Guys, I have this great idea. You know how the song goes, get you naked by the end of the song. How about this? And then he's just got the big whiteboard up, draws a boob hanging out. What do you think, guys?
But it has to have been in discussions. Like, it has to have been someone choreographed that.
Yeah.
I don't think Janet Jackson was like, I know what we're going to do. I know what we're going to do. We're going to flash my titties by the end of the show.
Yeah. How could they have made it more comical than it already was?
Exactly.
All right, back to
We thought Sunday was going to be rubbish, but it wasn't. Sunday's great.
Sunday was, because we got to see a bit of boob, which is about as much action as I've had for the past however many years.
You said it was rubbish. You were just annoyed that you watched it in the pub and not at home, so you couldn't have a little tickle about it.
Moving swiftly on, Monday the 2nd, the whole 301 thing has dragged on something severe. So as you can imagine, I was hugely relieved to finish the damn thing today.
How interested Buddy is. He's watching you read. He just wants to be involved.
Oh, I've got a cringeworthy day for you.
I didn't actually wake up until midday and realised I must have been well drunk last night because I was wearing out. I got myself together because I needed to put the final touches to submit the module. It was a massive document in the end. I typed everything that was left up on floor 12, where I saw Matt and Anita for the second day running in the same place. I only mention it because I love seeing Anita and always have, but she's with Simon and probably always will be. But I told Tom and Matt last night, if I messed up for any girl on the course, it's Anita. Best to stop obsessing though, it's chasing a lost cause. Obsession, Marcus.
That's pretty bad.
Apparently your to-do list today is get ticket, do essay.
Get ticket.
Get ticket.
Ticket to what?
I think it's a train ticket for Friday the 13th.
Ah, okay. That doesn't sound like it could be end up too well. Friday the 13th.
I don't remember too much about today, except I bought a shitload of ironing to do and I bought 2 new albums. The thing was, I'd actually gone on a mission to find the Crocodile Dundee soundtrack. And would you...
Why would I be trying to find that?
And would you believe it? 6 record shops failed to supply it. No, I don't want to fucking order it. I want to browse and touch and look and purchase.
Wow. I'm not going to enjoy the internet then.
You are not going to enjoy
shopping.
the internet.
Do you know why I reckon I was trying to look for that? Because it reminded me of Australia.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's probably, I come from a land down under. And there's like Aboriginal songs in there as well. And
that song's not on that album. It's by Men at Work.
Men at Work.
It's called Down Under.
Yeah, you got it.
And no, that's not on the Crocodile Dundee soundtrack.
No, well, it's the only Australian song that I know, so. Whilst in Music Zone, I got Chemical Brothers Singles 93 to 03 Special Edition and Insane Clown Posse, The Amazing Jekyll Brothers. The first is awesome, and the second is violent and funny. I like I Stab People the most. What a name for a song. What are you listening to?
Probably not the best song to name drop. And really, Chemical Brothers was the better one out of those two, for sure.
Can you imagine describing your musical hobbies in an interview and coming out with that? Do you have a favourite song? I Stab People. I played on Champ till 2 a.m. and I've fallen weak with a cold.
I'm so weak.
You're so dramatic.
I'm so weak.
That's still you, though. I've fallen weak with a cold. Send help.
Looks like I'm doing a co-op shift, 6 till 10.
A love these little crib notes in there.
Yeah. I keep on meaning to meet Dave Randall for his 206 essay. He texted me telling me of his house party, which I obligingly decided to go to. I wasn't in the best health, and it would have been wise for me to not to have gone to the party, for the joints and booze would do me no good. Still, I ended up going, along with Tommy, Bry, Nicola, and his fit mate of hers, who was interested but not drinking. They left early. I only got to have a night out post-co-op at 10, but in the end, I was up until 4:30.
Jeez.
That's not good. Sunday morning, had a kebab down at Ecclesall. Uni commences. It was the first day back at uni, 9 o'clock start. I got up at 7:40 and it was so harsh. How do people work full-time jobs?
Who knows?
Well.
Who knows, young Mark? Who knows?
You've got a whole career to look forward to, pal. I have to say, though, I was pleasantly surprised how stimulating to the brain it was being back at uni. I had the first lecture of a new module called Advanced Planting Design with this real character of a lecturer. He's called James Hitchmo and he likes to say shit a lot. He also has had experience as a practitioner in Melbourne, Australia. I need to get advice off this guy, but I fear it may be difficult. He's not very patient.
My day was bollocks. I wanted to get up and start the wretched essay, but I couldn't get myself together until like midday. I still feel like shit because of this chesty cough. I'll have to organise a doctor's appointment tomorrow, amongst the zillion other things I need to do.
I don't seem to be showing very much enthusiasm for the course.
For life, in general. But this is the thing, like, you've always not liked the mundane things. You don't have any tolerance for just the mundane things about being alive, like having to wash your clothes and wait for them to dry, and having to go to the post office, and having a box that's slightly difficult to open.
I never had a Mr. Miyagi in my life. Wax on, wax off.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, you'll just have to watch The Karate Kid.
I am not going to watch The Karate Kid. But still, this is just you.
Yep.
Just, you're slightly more tolerant now because you've chilled out a little bit in the last 20 years. But this does not surprise me. I have a group meeting for LSC 307 at 10:30. The docs, like I mentioned, the 206 essay, a cheque to hand in, a landscape ball ticket to buy, 35 quid eep. That's quite a lot for 20 years ago.
35 quid to go to a ball.
That's quite, like, I feel like
But
for
then
a student.
You'd have to get like suit hire.
Yeah. And this is 20 years ago as well. Like, that seems like a lot of money. Which I think is on the 19th, and I'm already working 6 to 10, so I'll have to change shit and all the work that I have to mentally prepare for and read. Gosh, didn't realise it was all that. I have my work cut out. I sat through a boring lecture on planning theory and ethics. Is there anything more boring you could theorise on? I suddenly wanted to quit it all and become a professional artist, live in that cool beachside pad like in Red Dragon. Wednesday, I did a lot of stuff today, but although my timetable suggests I don't have work on Wednesdays, it couldn't be more wrong. I did this site survey on the local distinctiveness of the site I'm working on. This involved taking notes as a duo with this Korean chick called Yvonne, who did nothing for me during this time.
What was I expecting you to do?
Which would change the fact I think she's a total spaz. She just kind of noodles about like it's pitch black and she just hopped on a merry-go-round. I mean, to be fair, she sounds like a shit partner.
Yeah.
To be fair. And she was late. That pissed me off. Wasting my phone credit. Phone credit! Oh my God, you have to top up and pay for phone calls and text messages.
These pressures, the kids don't know like what it's like today.
Yeah. And she was at the top of the street. Oh, I see you now. Yeah, whatever. I just wanted to get that finished so I could go home and do my essay. Well, not so much as do it, as copy Dave's and mix it up a bit. I have no flair for the planning side of the course. I should have just done landscape design with ecology, just like I should have done biology instead of economics. Mark, sort yourself out, mate. Planning and economics, you have no interest in them and they bore you rigid. Don't make these mistakes again. What in your next degree? Like... It's too late. It's done.
Yeah.
I didn't finish the essay. I've done about 1,000 words and there isn't much coal left for the fire.
I had to get up well early today for a new module about planning law. It was reasonably interesting, if a bit long, 9 a.m. till 11 a.m.
2 hours for a lecture.
That is quite long. And it's tackled by a reasonably good lecturer. I was tired enough already, but I kept on working throughout the day, firstly on this group work, which is a PowerPoint.
A PowerPoint.
It's looking really cool. I've not used the program for years, and suddenly I'm able to pick it up really quick. I even had enough knowledge to teach the others. Totally unheard of when it comes to computers. I did more on the essay. Having worked most of the day, I continued through till 5 and amassed 1,500 words without references, so I borrowed a few books. What? So I'm trying to write an essay without having actually read anything.
Sounds like you.
I knew I should have probably stayed in and done the essay, but fuck it. God, here we go. I ended up having a good laugh at Jimmy's before I headed off to Rachel's 21st. We were playing drinking games, and I generally didn't have to drink too much, but I watched as the others got overpowered by it all. Last night blew. I remember coming home early and having a massive kebab that stank the next day.
Nice.
Delicious. I had to get up early to finish the essay, and after an additional hour's sleep, I crawled out of bed, extremely dehydrated. I needed to finish the essay for 12 midday.
No way. And you went out when you still had like 1,000 words to go. That is horrendous.
Bloody hell, Mark. But as it turned out, I handed it in at 1 and decided if they asked, just to say, didn't know normal rules applied with an extension.
And that was on an extension.
Yeah.
And you still handed it in late.
How did I even get by?
Oh my God.
I'd done 1,837 words. Do you remember doing that on Word? You would literally go and like say to see how many words you wrote, as though that was some sort of currency.
We used to put random words in white at the end so you couldn't see them, but it added to the word count.
I don't think they would. It's not one of the first things they would have done. Like,
well, no,
highlight
that's
everything.
that's what we used to do.
And the thing is, they would have seen the white at the end.
No, because it's white, so you can't see it. It's just on the paper.
If you select all,
Well, if you select
maybe
it.
it wasn't like that then.
Well, we just used to hope that they would just read the word count in the bottom left corner.
What, just like skirt over the entire essay? Oh, they've done 2,056 words. Tick. A star.
No, but you have to check that because we had to do it. It had to be within 10%. So if they gave you 2,000, it had to be between 1,800 and 2,200 words.
Right. Very cunning.
So we would just make up extra words by just putting random words at the end, or we'd like copy and paste and then just make it white.
I had done 1,837 words and managed to stick 3 extra quotes in there. My only fear is that somehow the markers will pick up on the fact that much of the content is the same as Dave's. But that will be the case for everyone doing that question, won't it? After I handed in the essay, it was a way to do some more work.
So hang on.
More group work.
You were late, even though you got an extension
Yeah.
and you basically copied off your friend
Yes.
and you still managed to not get it done on time.
Got 3 extra quotes in there, though, from the books that I borrowed yesterday. I must have been scouring the books.
How on earth do
What
you
is
have a
vaguely
degree?
relevant?
I swear, like, at least 80% of people just managed to get the degree by plagiarism.
I don't know how they keep on top of it now. Like, what with, I mean...
Yeah, but now you can because there's software to do it.
How are they going to deal with, like, Chat GPT and all that?
The software, you can tell.
Can you?
Yeah.
Is it really, like, glaringly obvious?
Yeah.
I don't think I use it enough yet.
I use it
don't think I've quite
I use
worked
it
out.
every single day, but I wouldn't have it right for me because it's too obvious. I just remembered something Anita asked me at Rachel's 21st. She wondered whether I thought it would be worth her going to the ball on Thursday, if only for a few hours, because she needs to go home the next day. Momentarily, I think of bloody course she should be there. I remember Simon would obviously be there, upon her mentioning the pain of shedding £70 for their ball tickets. So here's your answer. Anita, you can take your £70 and Simon and send him to a bingo night in Rotherham so I can at least flirt with you without the knowledge that Simon is standing next to me. That is wrong.
This is like another Kate Richard scenario, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
You seem to have a lot of unrequited. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a, teenage, early 20s experience that most of us have had.
Yeah.
But there just seems to be so much unrequited love for you. Sunday, failed to mention, I went out in the car by myself for the first time ever yesterday. Was this your mum's car?
Yeah, it would have been.
I can't believe your mother let you drive her car after you'd been drinking the night before.
I probably didn't tell her
Do you mean you didn't tell her? She'll have been there.
that I'd been drinking.
Yeah, but you went out for Michelle's birthday.
Oh, yeah,
She'll have
sorry.
known.
Yeah, she would have known.
I'd been told it would feel strange, and that was true. To tell you the truth, I felt like a cowboy. And
Yeah!
what a strange thing to compare it to. I felt like a cowboy. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what
I
I'm getting
don't
at.
understand that comparison.
Just
I can't
like
even think.
leaning out the window, like swinging
That's
your
what I
arm
mean. I
around.
can't think of one single thing. Anyway.
This particular day has Megan Fantasy written on top.
Oh God, do we
Sounds
want to
like
listen to it?
obsessing with another random.
Oh wow.
I'm floating right now. I broke the silence with this girl who I see around, and she's hot. She came into the shop, and it was quiet, so I struck up a conversation.
I can just imagine you walking over. Good day, my lady. I can't imagine 21-year-old you having any game. It must have been something so random. Oh, look, this is a red apple. Like, you would just say something so random.
Yeah, it's 7:24.
That's McLovin, isn't it?
Yeah. And then she's like, what? Who?
And then you run away.
I kind of know her through James, who tells me she's called Megan. He also tells me she's South African born, which is cool. But I'm telling you, this girl, she's been driving me nuts for ages, and she's single. On another woman front, Anita has announced she is going to the ball, and Simon won't be there.
Ooh.
But he is picking her up at 10 to go back to Surrey. So in a way, I have kind of got what I wanted. On the way back from town, me and Matt got these fat Cuban stogies for the ball. Smoking.
Do you smoke back then?
Oh, from time to time.
Well, I can't even remember what happened tonight, but I do know it was cool. I was left confused, but it's all good. This is some pissed shit. I'll finish tomorrow. Ha ha ha! Look at the state of that. Man, I was pretty hammered. Oh, you wrote this when you got in.
I tried to write it.
Right,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. Okay, right. That makes sense why it's awful. Okay, even though the night cost loads, it was a success. The food was great, plenty of girls about, and lots of piss dancing about. I was happy because Anita could come at all, though she did leave at 10 in a sore state, may I say. Myself, Anita, Matt and Kate and Rachel and Tommy went to Ecclesall.
Yeah.
We were overdressed in there and were more fitted to Whirlow Brook Hall, the destination for the ball. I eyed up the field and there were a few girls I liked. I didn't really make approaches. That's shocking. Just flirtatious dancing towards the end. Oh my God, I wish I could see your 21-year-old flirtatious dancing. You've got bright pink.
I'm trying to envisage what my 21-year-old two-step's going to look like.
And the thing is, one, it's you dancing, but two, it's you thinking that it's flirtatious because it's probably gone completely unnoticed. I reckon the girl was on the other side and they maybe caught your eye by accident and you thought that was them flirting back.
It was probably in their general vicinity.
Yeah.
Make sure you're in view.
Yeah.
And then do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And think that the dance moves are just going to pull them in. But I haven't read the rest of it yet, but I'm guessing that you were not successful.
I can't remember.
We will soon find out. I had a smoking sesh with Matt and the cigars we had purchased. That was cool. It was weird after that. First, we were at Vicky's, but she wasn't there. Then Rachel's didn't leave till 3, but now it happened. So not successful with the flirtatious dancing towards the end.
No, just a cigar.
You are trying. I've been getting the impression Anita and Matt are trying to matchmake. They were reinforcing the fact that Rach and I were the only single ones in the taxi last night. So I told Matt at the ball, if it was anyone, it would be Anita, who I liked out of the people I already knew. I was drunk when I told him this, but hopefully it won't be forwarded to Anita for 2 reasons. 1, Simon. 2, Megan. I don't want people trying to kick my ass, and I'd rather wait for a chance with Megan. I also realise it's James's house party tomorrow. Maybe Megan will be there, though I ain't holding my breath. You forget how much you party when you're a student.
Every
it's
single
insane. Because
you'll have maybe 1 or 2 big nights a year now.
That's what I mean. But before we had the kids, we probably went out once a fortnight. Maybe we would have a house party or we would go out in town. Once a week max, but maybe once a fortnight.
Before we came to Australia, I was in the pub twice a week easily.
Yeah.
4 pints.
Yeah.
And
that's England though. That's more of a pub culture, I guess.
Yeah.
But still, that was you were in your late 20s before we left England.
Work went quickly and I went home to get changed for James's house party. Myself, Matt and Chris approached. I armed with a bottle of vodka and Matt a hockey stick. Okay?
What?
Gonna fuck some shit up. There was too many dudes to start off with, but then more people came, including girls, including Megan. She was looking good, red scarf, black top, a bit of an indie thing going on, but not as much
Ooh, to
as...
match your brown corduroy pants.
and Marvin the Martian t-shirt. So I gaze, she gazes back, and it's like she knows that something's there. Really?
I love hearing your perspective on like all these flirtatious moments because you just know that the girl is not thinking anywhere what you're thinking.
Yeah, in my mind it's like,
gaze.
there she is.
Exactly.
And I'm just staring at the other side of the room in her head. Who's that guy?
Exactly. Like, what is a gaze? I gaze. Like to me, that's like you're like turning your head.
Yeah, flashing eyelids.
That's what I mean.
But I made a mistake. I didn't seize the day. I choked, but I was out there. Man, 2 minutes standard back. Not enough action. I was drunk last night and I had another stupid kebab. Jesus. I didn't go to bed until 4 a.m. This is why you keep getting sick, Mark. But still, I got up reasonably early. I thought I'd be playing footy this Arvo, but then I ended up giving it a miss due to freezing snowy weather. The old Monday morning lecture wasn't too bad. I had lots of stuff that I needed to do after the lectures. Checks had to be paid in, photos developed. I even paid a visit to the career service so I can look at my CV. I also organised to see James Hitchmo on Friday so he can advise me on my Aussie applications for his practice in landscape down under.
Today, there was a load of lectures demonstrating by going on strike over pay. I remember the email I'd received. They were trying to persuade the students to take part. I thought to myself, well, sure, they need our support, but I can't say I've heard the lecturers giving two shits about the tuition fee debate. Well, that's my view anyway. Didn't you go protesting about tuition fees?
Yeah. Me and Matt Wilson, we went down to London and it was we were looking for grants, not fees.
Yeah.
And who was the London mayor at the time? He gave a speech in, must have been like Trafalgar Square or something. We marched past Houses of Parliament with like placards and stuff and made a bit of noise. And nothing's changed since. No, and fees have gone up.
Yeah, it's got even more. Because you will have paid, like, I think it was about $1,000 a year when you did it. It was $3,000 when I did it.
Yeah.
And then when I left, it'd gone up to $9,000 and it's probably even more now. I collected photos from the ball last Thursday. Some of them are great, some of them not so good. There are some lovely ones of Rachel, but Anita doesn't look as good. I showed her them and she hates them. Maybe it's because she was in a stroppy mood today, or maybe it's the fact that it was a long, bloody hard day. She was already pissed off with me because I'd forgotten the CD I had with the plant pictures that Matt had taken. Hell, I'll probably forget again tomorrow. I don't think she realised I have to juggle coursework and a job also. I often
by 3 hours a day or whatever it is, 4 hours in the evening.
I often forget things. Work was a proper bitch tonight. So many assholes come in, totally rude. I had to restrain myself several times. But now I can just imagine you like biting your fist. Ha 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 ha. Or like, someone hold me back. He's such a hard man. The night was made more shit when Matt and Rach came in to the shop, tipsy, sounding like they'd had a right laugh. Wish I could have been there. I fucking hate my job. I got a ticket for fuzz. Like, you on one hand, you're just so bipolar. Fucking hate my job. Yeah, I got a ticket for fuzz.
Yeah.
Do you ever get the feeling you're not actually in control of your life? That's how I feel at the moment, being hit back and forth between projects, jobs and people. It's like each part of my life is a program and the channels keep changing without any time in between to absorb the last episode.
I think it's got something to do with 4 a.m. partying and kebabs.
Yeah, maybe. And not actually getting any work done.
Yeah.
And also all these girls that you fancy but you don't actually tell them.
No.
And then get upset that they don't reciprocate.
Pent-up aggression.
Pent-up aggression. Quite often I feel as though I want to change the channel but don't really have the power or opportunity to. Very deep. For example, I was sitting in a lecture today about concrete. No, seriously. And I was at some stages wondering what the hell I was doing there. What kind of impact can this lecture in concrete have on my life in the long term? That lecture was squeezed into my day in between two co-op shifts. I also had to contribute to a piece of work that had to be handed in before 4. During this group work, Rachel asked me if I wanted to go to another ball. It's a ball she's organised as part of her church. Anita tells me Simon is also going. Matt pleads with me to go, and then Rachel tells me it's on Friday and that it's £20. That's steep. Combined with the fact that I have a gym induction on Friday, fuzz on Thursday, a staff night out on Saturday, and a greater will to save the pennies, you'll forgive me for not wanting to go. I know it's an opportunity to go out dressed up with Anita and Rach, but I'm fed up of thinking about it. If I'm ballsy enough, I'll hit on Meg tomorrow.
I'm going to say I won't. That's my guess.
You just complain about everything and then you actually go through the things that you have to do and you've got like literally 5 nights out planned.
Aye.
You're just like, I'm just so not in control of my life. I can't do anything that I want to do. I don't have any time.
But this is how it should be. When you're a student, you can't
100%.
take anything
100%.
too seriously. But, I mean, I just don't seem to be enjoying it.
You just don't seem to be enjoying your life.
Let's cut the chase. It's not going to happen with Megan. Most certainly not at the moment.
So 1 hour after you were like, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit on her. Next day it's like, yeah, no.
I don't know if this is before or after the night out. I've come down with a dirty, stinking cold. The weather's miserable and I have uni work that needs doing. I tried not to let it get to me. I'm just pissed because it seems as though I was only a few weeks ago since I was last ill. It was really tough getting up for 9 till 11 lecture. I wish I hadn't gone. My nose was running, my eyes were puffy, and Philip Booth was trying to tell me about planning policy guidance, which was as useful to my current situation as Anvil would have been on the Titanic. Still, I turned out to be a winner today. At the intramural game, I replaced Chris in nets and only conceded 1 as we thrashed third from bottom 6-1. We're still bottom, but we're making up ground.
Nice.
I even got a run around in the end. In the game. Then in the evening, I decided I would still go to Fuzz despite looking like an outbreak patient. I went down to bar 1 with...
Days before the pandemic where people actually kept the diseases to themselves.
Yeah. I went down to the bar 1 with Matt. I was on fire in pool. I beat Matt 8 games straight and 10-4 overall. He was distraught. I was cool. Inside Fuzz, I met a few other mates, Dave Randall and James. Then on the way back from Fuzz, there was a massive blizzard. That'd be good for my cold. Shit, I totally forgot about gym. I was going to go for my gym induction, but I had a persistent cold.
No,
Alas.
you were hung over to fuck. It's what it was.
Alas, the opportunity is gone. I will have to reschedule that, and I've been looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm even more cabbage than I was yesterday, yet I had even more to do. Today was important in terms of getting my CV and letter sorted. I had 2 meetings organised, one with Career Service and the other with James Hitchmo. Careers officer seemed to have some recommended changes that should be made, despite the fact that I had stuck to the advice from the leaflets quite thoroughly. Still, I shall change it in the hope that I might get some replies from firms. James was helpful, although he seemed sceptical of the usefulness of his advice. He didn't seem to have many contacts. Having had 10 years' experience in Melbourne, which were up to date, but that didn't bother me. I went in expecting nothing and came out with something, a peace of mind, a little assurance that it is a move that can be made. He made it quite clear that the chances of me picking up experience would generally increase if I was to actually be there in the flesh. Exactly what Dad had said. Words of wisdom or coincidence? Despite having a 3 to 5, I dosed off to finish a little research and retired home in an appalling state of sweat and soggy hankies. There are not enough drugs in this world. Paracetamol, anti-flu powder, multivitamins, inhalers give me the cure. I'm just sick all the time.
Mm-hmm. So, you've been incredibly sick, complaining about being sick. You've still been on 2 nights out, and then tonight you're going on another night out.
Dear, oh dear.
Don't feel as bad today health-wise anyway. I managed to piss the day away without doing an ounce of work. I did find enough time for footy, NBA jam, and a staff night out, though.
There's no respite, is there? It's just...
You're just so
foot on the floor.
popular.
I don't want to miss out.
No. So whereas like now we're foot on the floor with work and like we kind of put on the brakes with our social life, here it's the complete opposite where you are foot on the floor with your social life.
Yeah.
With the brakes on work and responsibilities. The staff night out was awesome, I thought. We trawled from the Cavendish to S1, then Lloyd, and finally the showroom. I enjoyed everyone's company, whilst Alison became particularly attached to Mark T. She is just split with this macho guy called Ad. What a name. Who shorts Adam to Ad?
Ad. Mark T. Ad.
But it's kind of logical that she minces about with Mark, who apparently admitted he was gay, though we all had our suspicions everywhere. Anyway, everyone got wasted. Sunday, gammon, steak and cheese robbery. That's the title.
Another shoplifting, maybe?
Probably, I hope so.
The same guy that stole the sunsilk?
I hope so. Work at the co-op was wretched, 2 shoplifters and I had to catch them both. I love that you were like, you know, shelf stacker, till operator, like full security. The first I had to run to catch You had to run to catch him.
So I physically apprehended a criminal.
Physically apprehending criminals. But then you can't remember what they look like because you're so tired. So when the police come, you're just like, I don't know.
I reckon I just run up to them and cough on them.
Probably.
It's not the plague.
Oh, here we go. The second, he had like 20 quid's worth of gammon steaks and cheese. Can you imagine how much that must have been, like back in 2004?
I do remember that guy because they were just shoved like in his shirt, and they were like kind of like falling out, and he pretty much like conceded and gave them back straight away, and then he just walked off. So it wasn't like I was like, don't do that again, or
But that's quite confrontational for you, like to go up to someone and stop them from shoplifting.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Like, what would you even say?
They could have turned around and like shanked me or something.
That's what I mean. Why are you using the word shanked when you could use the word stab?
All right, stab. Sounded a bit more graphic, didn't it? It shanked me.
Cheeky bastards, I deserve a bonus.
Is that it for February?
Who knows? But yes, we are done.
Tune in next episode for March, which I'm sure will be just as riveting as February.
Can you please say that in Geordie?
Tune in next episode for March 2004.
Can you please say that in London?
Tune in March 2004.
I love that. Can you do it in Australian?
Tune in March 2004, mate.
Can you do it in Scouse?
Tune in. Do Scottish, maybe.
Go and do Scottish.
Tune in March 2004.
You're so good at accents. I'm so rubbish. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Follow Badly Written Boy online. We're at badlywrittenboy.com. Also find us on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok at Badly Written Boy. Like and subscribe our podcast on Spotify and YouTube, and please leave a nice review.